Patagonia. Founded by the maverick Yvon Chouinard, an avid rock climber and surfer, this company is built on a passion for the outdoors. Specialising in gear which equips the everyday adventurer, Patagonia may just be one of the most eccentric big businesses in the modern marketplace. On Black Friday in 2011, Patagonia ridiculed mainstream marketing and the transaction-fueled nature of Black Friday sales. They ran an advertisement in the New York Times. Big deal, right? In the advertisement, they urged consumers to take a few things on board. Firstly, reduce the need to buy new clothes. Repair old clothes to keep them alive. Reuse clothes. Recycle old clothes. However, this was not the focus of the ad. Above the image of the jacket, large block capitals dominated the page saying, "Don't buy this jacket." Patagonia expected the campaign to bring in up to $2 million in sales. Instead, they made over 10. To understand why it was so successful though, we must understand exactly what innovation is. Innovation encapsulates a product, a service, or an idea that is universally perceived as original and new. In a marketing sense, it's all about delivering value that hasn't already been realized in the marketplace. The Patagonia "Don't Buy This Jacket" campaign is novel because it turns the value proposition on its head. Rather than offering more for more or less for less, for example, Patagonia introduced a new proposition, more for nothing. In this case, the more, it doesn't relate to the benefit gained from buying a product. Instead, the benefit is obtained through not buying. Companies can advocate being green and responsible through interventions such as biodegradable packaging. However, elements like production, delivery, consumption, they all render these methods useless. Patagonia knew this and so made their campaign. In doing so, they delivered a new, innovative value which hadn't been seen yet in the outdoor marketplace, practicing sustainability in a more effective manner. Patagonia's Black Friday campaign reworked the idea of environmental stewardship within consumerism by waving the audience away from buying their clothing and alternatively promote practices which reduce environmental impact. They elevated an integral value in the outdoors marketplace. Through integrating elements of societal marketing, differentiation and consumer behaviour, they produced a truly innovative concept. Societal marketing is represented by the idea that companies should dictate the wants and needs of the target market in a light that benefits society in the long term. The concept requires a balance between profit, satisfaction, and societal benefit. The complication but is that if a product is morally responsible, it may not be as enticing as a product which may be harmful to, say, your environment. This means marketers need to find a way to make the responsible product appealing. Patagonia did exactly this, through identifying that nearly no matter how sustainable a company can claim to be, essential operating requirements like electricity to power machines and factories will inherently have a carbon footprint. In urging consumers not to buy their jackets, Patagonia offers a salutary proposition, meaning adhering to the campaign will provide an insignificant immediate satisfaction, but in the long run it'll yield high benefit. And that benefit is that they practice sustainability. But here's the catch. More customers bought products, which in turn actually contradicted what the company appeared to have intended. Of course, Patagonia predicted sales to increase on Black Friday in spite of their campaign being focused around not buying, but the environmental responsibility aspect didn't concern the short-term effects on the environment, but rather the long-term. This is where campaign results come in. 70% of the buyers on Black Friday were first-time customers. It is more than likely they were encapsulated by the value proposition which encouraged them not to rebuy. So, in buying clothes, they would have been inclined to refrain from rebuying. This is where Patagonia's advertisement was pointed, since obviously people who aren't first-time buyers aren't adhering to the "don't buy more clothes" theme. To recap, naturally, customers are more likely to choose a product which offers the greatest value. It's imperative that marketers understand consumer behaviour. Being able to propose a desirable value begins with differentiation. Image differentiation is also a vital key to gain a competitive advantage. Unlike its tangible counterparts, image differentiation can't be achieved all at once. It must be achieved through time, through consistent advertising, symbolism, and just by the company's very actions. Since Patagonia's campaign was only active for a small period of time, it only plays a minor part in the overall image differentiation of the company. For this very reason, more than this campaign must be discussed. 2017 provides a good example of the Patagonia image differentiation, since it was a year filled with initiatives, protests, and campaigns. By fighting to protect public lands, standing up for Indigenous rights, training activists, to increasing B Corp scores yearly, it is undeniable that Patagonia has painted itself as less as a clothing company and more of a servant of society. 6 years after the Black Friday campaign, they recorded over 50,000 garment repairs in 2017. This is significant because it shows that the company values their word. The single most contributing factor to Patagonia's image, however, is the fact that the company is privately owned. As Greg Dalton of the Commonwealth Club mentions in his 2016 interview with Yvonne,
as a private company, the only shareholder sits across from him at the dinner table every night.
But all this great work isn't worth it until we examine it alongside Patagonia's competitors. In this case, I'll look at the North Face, arguably Patagonia's largest. Patagonia is privately owned. The North Face, it's a corporation. To elaborate, in 2013, Patagonia posted $500 million in sales. The North Face, they quadrupled that. The reason? As Yvonne says, Patagonia, they're not interested in profits. Their conservation efforts are overwhelmingly impressive compared to the North Face, who only displays little information about the environment on their website. And although both companies charge similar prices for their products, Patagonia barely markets theirs. In order to create clever marketing and apply the core concepts, marketers must first understand the consumer decision-making process. The company which best understands its target market and how it responds to that information already has an upper hand. There are many influences which affect the decision-making process: social, cultural, personal, and psychological, to name a few. There's many elements which influence one of the company's biggest feeds to date. Firstly, it is arguable that most of the Patagonia items bought on Black Friday were done so with moderate to low involvement. This can be concluded from the fact that since the advertisement appeared one day prior, brand awareness and positioning might not have been as significant, especially with regards to the first-time customers. But since involvement is subject to the individual due to their demand, and that is, the capacity to fulfill a want, there are external influences involved. The first influence is psychological. In being exposed to the advertisement, customers were also subjective to innovative value propositions that may have appealed to their attitudes and beliefs, which in this case involves preserving their environment. The second influence is social. In being the explorative type of person, this type of customer fits within the company's image. By investing in their products, individuals are trying to obtain a sense of belonging within this community, which is a basic social need in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Alternatively, they needed the gear to improve their outdoor experience. These influences will not only affect the decision, but the decision-making process as a whole. The process involved, it's actually complicated. The problem recognition was entirely external, where the advertisement reached a large number of consumers, and through its effectiveness, it transformed a want into a need. That need being, I need to help save the environment. The information search was likely skipped or insignificant due to the timely nature of the advertisement. The evaluation of alternatives would have involved the North Face and what value they offer. The product choice, highly influenced by Patagonia's cunning differentiation, whereby they gave themselves a convincing competitive advantage. Now, the post-purchase evaluation. That's hard to qualify because a satisfied customer is likely to return to the business, but in this case, Patagonia didn't want its customers to. Remember? Don't buy this jacket? Patagonia is truly remarkable. Its founder, Yvonne Chouinard, never wanted it to be a business. Through the company's ownership, environmental and social initiatives, and its mission, it is undeniable that Yvonne has done his best to do things differently. Patagonia's Black Friday campaign, which was centralized around the New York Times advertisement, is an example of this alternative approach to marketing. Through societal marketing, differentiation, and understanding consumer behavior, Patagonia produced an outcome they had never predicted.
Patagonia clothing company is an experiment, making decisions based on quality and responsibility. And I can tell you that it's not an experiment anymore.